Hello, I'm Rebecca the Maths Lady, and this video is about calculating with decimal numbers. We're going to explore how we first teach children to add, subtract, multiply and divide decimal numbers so that they deeply understand what they're doing. If they're going to be able to really understand what they're doing, children need to have completed the exercises in the Introduction to Decimals video. So here's a link to that one now. It really is essential. The ideas in this video also assume that you and they deeply understand column addition, column subtraction, short multiplication, short division, and mental addition and subtraction. Now, you don't have to be fluent on all of those before you start decimal calculation, because you may simply be focusing on addition in the first instance, but you need to make sure that you and the child you're working with have understood the related video on addition in that case, or whatever you're working on. And you can find those videos if you click on my YouTube channel and go to videos, or go to this series and look through it for the video you're looking for. If you already understand all this, your skip link to the next video is here. It's on multiplying and dividing by 10 and 100. Right, let's get started with addition. So if we pick a calculation like 126.3 add 24.17, that's quite a tough addition to start with. But if the child you're working with has understood everything that we've done so far, then they should at least be able to do that with place value counters. They can build it, they can put the place value counters together, they can exchange when necessary, and they can work out the answer. And they can probably have a go at notating this as well. And they may stumble because they really need to focus on lining up those decimal points. Soldiers' buttons, decimal points must line up. And then this number becomes 126.3. This one becomes 24.17. And we've got this strange thing here that the numbers don't line up on the right, which might be what children have been looking for before, because with whole numbers they do. So you need to make sure your child is really comfortable with that. It can help to talk about there actually being a zero here. It may help to add column headings if your child's not confident with what they are. So these are ones, tens, 100s, these are 1/10ths, and these are 100ths. I'm just going to put a line there. And then we can start 7 100ths, add 0 100ths, 7, 4 1/10ths. We've got 10 ones, so that's 0 there and 1 to carry. 5 10s and 100, and there we have our answer. Now, if your child needs to exchange tenths for 1 because they've got more than 10 tenths, or if they need to exchange 100ths for tenths, it's worth taking time just to talk about that. Check that they can really see that there are 10 100ths in a tenth. You may want to go back to the number line to see the 10 100ths make 1/10. Just take time to be absolutely sure that they know what they're doing as they're exchanging with decimal numbers. Then you can explore subtraction in the same way. Children will be able to do it with their place value counters. If you've got enough for them to exchange, they may need to exchange ones for tenths or tenths for hundredths. And again, you need to go slowly at first. Remember that when we're subtracting, the number we're taking away stays visible, and we're looking for the missing part when the number we're subtracting from is split into the number we're subtracting and the remaining part, which is our answer. If you're not confident on that, it's worth revisiting the episode on the foundations of subtraction, and here's a link to that now. And of course, with addition and subtraction, it's really important to keep an eye on the calculation. Is it actually sensible to do it as a column addition or subtraction? Or is it much better to think about mental strategies? In this case, if you think about difference, this calculation becomes really easy. It's just 0.8. And here's a link to the video which covered those strategies if that's what you need. Okay, multiplication with decimals, which could be to 1 decimal place or to 2 decimal places. We just set them up as before. If we go 43.5 times 6, doesn't really matter where we put the 6, draw a line. What matters is that we keep track on our columns now. So we've got 6 lots of 5 tenths. That is 30 tenths. So we put a 0 there, and our 30 tenths become 3 ones, which we can keep a track on here. I'm not too fussy about how you keep a track on things. I tend to use small numbers for numbers that have come from exchanging. 6 threes are 18, and we've 3 extra ones, so we've 21 ones. 1 1, 2 become tens, 4 sixes are 24, that's 24 tens and 2 extra tens, 26 tens, 261.0. And we can have a discussion about how that's the same as 261. And then a few years later, we have a discussion about why it actually matters, because that indicates a greater degree of accuracy than the number 261 on its own. But if a child you're working with really questions whether that is the same as 261, well, they have a point, because this is more accurate. But we want them to understand that it is the same essential value, the same quantity. So with addition and subtraction, we could add and subtract any numbers up to 2 decimal places. With multiplication, we can multiply any number up to 2 decimal places by any number between 2 and 9. With division, we have to be a little more careful with the calculations we set. Let's look at a tricky division. Let's look at this one. This is 28.32 divided by 3. Well, if we set it up like this, 28.32. We want to share 2 tens between 3 people. We can't, we don't have enough. We have to break them into ones. That gives us 20 ones, and that gives us 28 ones altogether because we have these 8. If we share those between 3 people, each person gets 9 ones. We have 1 1 left, which we can't share, so we break it into tenths. You might need to slow down there. They happy with what we're doing here? If we break that 1 into tenths, it gives us 10, and we already have 3. So 13 tenths share between 3 people. Each person gets 4, and we still have 1, and we're going to break that 1/10 into hundredths, into 10 100ths. And that gives us 12 altogether, 10 from the broken tenth and the 2 we had already. If we share those between 3 people, we get 4. So our answer is 9.44. Now the trick here is to get divisions that are going to work out. And you can get those by multiplying numbers between 2 and 9 that you're going to be dividing by the answer to get your question. You can do divisions where you start adding in extra numbers, but we're going to leave that for the future just now. There'll be something on that in my next series, which I'll be starting soon. I will try and make a worksheet on this with a few examples, which hopefully will be live by the end of next week, but it may take a little longer. You can find out where to download all my free worksheets on the description of this YouTube channel. So your takeaways from this video are that your child should be able to add, subtract, multiply and divide decimal numbers using column addition, column subtraction, short multiplication, short division, and mental strategies for addition and subtraction when they're much more sensible than the formal written strategies. Your child should be able to cope with numbers up to 2 decimal places. If they're struggling with that, slow down and puzzle out exactly what's going on and help them. And then, if possible, get them to teach someone else. If another adult comes into the situation later, get them to explain what they've done to someone else. It's so powerful when a child becomes able to be a teacher. Then the learning really goes in for the future. This whole topic is really useful for diagnosing exactly what it is a child does and doesn't understand. So if you've got an older child, this is quite a good topic to come in with, provided you understand all the previous videos and you can flexibly take them wherever they need to go if they're facing problems. If you've any questions on this topic, please do write them in the comments. Please come and join me on the live streams, which will be starting soon. Watch out for details of those in the channel header and the channel description. If you know of anyone else who you think might benefit from seeing these videos, please share them on Twitter, in Facebook groups, in whatever social media streams that you have and you use where people might benefit from them. Let's raise a generation of children who are going to be fantastic mathematicians, whatever they choose to do in life. Have a really good day. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.